What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is another Miata Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, and this is like our last really big job for this car, so we're excited to get it finished.
Yeah, this is the last the last big piece.
We're gonna have so much more room in the garage after we do this job today, but it is a big job, and it's not something that we actually kind of really done before. So
You didn't do it on the Prelude?
no, I had Sean do all the work.
Oh, that's right.
I watched.
So well, now he has me as a helper.
Yeah, so now Kelly's gonna watch, and I'm gonna do all the work. And yeah, so anyway, today we're installing transmission, clutch, flywheel, all sorts of cool stuff. All right, guys, behold, look at all this stuff that we're going to be installing today. I don't even know really where to start. I guess we'll go ahead and start with the big pieces, okay? So we got a flywheel here for 1.6. This is a 1.8 engine that we have in here, but we're going 1.6 everything to save weight. So we got ourselves a regular old 1.6 flywheel that we got from Luke. I think that's how you say that. I actually got this from Advanced Auto. Really good deal. I can't remember how much it was. It was like $79 or something like that. So we have a clutch, also a Luke clutch, okay? What's rad about this is it comes with an Exceedi actual clutch. So pretty rad. It's also labeled too, transmission side, which is good for newbies like Kelly and I who don't know what we're doing, because you can actually install this backwards. But we've done enough research to know how to install this, and with this on here, it just helps. We also, this kit comes with a bearing, which goes in the center of the flywheel. It comes with some spline lubricant for lubing up the transmission. It also comes with a throwout bearing. However, we went ahead and got our own awesome bearing. So we will actually be installing that one. And then we got another awesome throwout bearing for the clutch. So we didn't want to use this stuff that they throw in here, because of everything I've read is that it's kind of lesser quality. But I will tell you this, the Luke throwout bearing is actually what's in the Prelude, so it's still working fine. So I don't know if you really need to get the aftermarket kind of Japanese kind of stuff like we did, but we spent a little extra money. So moving on, we got ourselves a slave cylinder. All right, that's going to go on the transmission. We have ourselves a master cylinder. All right, got that guy. That's also a Luke product. I should tell you too that the Luke product comes with a clutch alignment tool for installing it. We have a rear main seal that we're going to be installing before we actually even install the clutch kit. And we have over here, thanks to the guys at Net Motorsports, recommended we get this tool from Flying Miata, and this helps you install the rear main seal without pushing it in too far or not pushing it in far enough. So we did get a clutch pedal with the car. However, it was missing a piece. So this little guy here, which is super important, it wasn't actually like working on our clutch pedal. So I had to order a new one of these. I got this from Treasure Coast. Real popular place down in South Florida. They're really good with used parts. This was like $34 shipped.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, so not a lot of money at all. Really good deal. So we got to install that. I had to buy one of these because this is a bracket that hooks to your brace that goes underneath the car, and this hooks to the transmission. We did not get one of these. So it's an important thing. I got this from Miata Mecca, which a lot of these parts came from Miata Mecca. Really good place for used parts. So we're going to be installing this today. We did not have flywheel bolts because we didn't have like anything. So I had to find flywheel bolts. This is not an easy thing to find, believe it or not. I was able to get these from Miata Mecca, I believe. They are just awesome when you need parts, man. Just stuff like this. This stuff gets expensive though. I think it's like $30 for these flywheel bolts.
Wow.
Yeah, it adds up. It adds up. So that's those. All right, so coming over here. So speaking of no bolts, we did not have any bolts for the actual connecting the clutch to the flywheel. So I went ahead and had to figure out what size bolts, thread pitch and everything that Miatas actually use. And this was the closest thing I could get. These are M8 by 125, and these are, so they're 25 millimeter. I think the stock bolts are 20 millimeter. So these are a little bit too long, but I did a little kind of a dry run on these, and they should be just fine. Transmission bolts to actually mount this thing to our engine. We did not have any. We had to buy these. They were really expensive. There were 11 bolts. I think they were like $60 for all the bolts.
Oh my gosh.
Adds up, man. Adds up.
We wanted to stay in the car, so.
The awesome guys at Nat Motorsports reached out to me months ago and said, hey, is there anything you need for your car we might have laying around? I said, I need a shifter. They were awesome enough to send me this.
Oh, that was nice. Thank you.
And they also sent us plug wires. Nat Motorsports, shameless plug. Make sure you sub to their channel. They are awesome. They know everything about Miatas. This build would not happen without the help of those guys over there at Nat Motorsports.
Thank you, guys.
I talk to them every single week, every week,
Yes.
and they always give me some good tips.
Yeah, they've been awesome.
We have a complete shifter rebuild kit that we got from Moss. It's like $110 or something like that. This is everything we need to rebuild our shifter. We have over here, man, it's just an endless supply of stuff that we needed.
Day.
So another great place if you need used parts, hit up Alex at SNS Mazda Parts. Okay, he has an eBay store, and we did not have a speed sensor. Unknowingly, we did not have a speed sensor, and we need this in order for the speedometer to work. All right, so I had to source one of these. Again, not easy to find. Last piece over here from Miata Mecca. This is a brand new, I believe it's a reverse backup light switch. It goes into the transmission. We didn't have one, had to hit them up and get one of those for our car. And then of course, all the fluid that you need to make this thing go down the road. Now, before you guys lose your mind and tell me how I should be running Redline M90 and everything else, this is just to get the car going down the road. We will be upgrading our fluids once the car goes down the road. So don't lose your mind. These things will see like 5,000 miles and it'll get swapped out. So please, take it easy. So you remember what the transmission looked like before? If you don't, here's a video. The thing was pretty worked over. I got it for $200. It's guaranteed to work by the guy who rebuilt it. But I went ahead and gave it a little love last weekend. And this is what it looks like now. Unfortunately, I can't really get it in the sun. Well, I guess this isn't so bad. But yeah, it's been cleaned, it's been painted. It's much better than it was. I think everybody will agree about that. And also when we touch it now, we don't get grease all over our hands. So just a couple hours worth of work, cleaning it and everything like that. And now it actually matches the engine. All right, so to get things started, Kelly and I are always gonna take the easiest thing and do that first. And that's gonna be to install some of the stuff on the transmission. So, like I said earlier, the transmission came with some broken stuff, like this guy right here. I went ahead and loosened it. Oh, went ahead and dropped it. And then we have a new one over here from Miata Mecca. Why don't you take that out and screw her in.
Screw her in.
All right, so that's done.
Yay!
That was easy. Okay, what else do we have to install? Oh, we have to install this speed sensor thing. Over here. Grab this. So that's going to go right here, right down there. There you go. You put that bolt in. Done. All right, next on is this bracket that Kelly and I both don't know exactly how it goes on.
Why are we going to put it on?
No, we need to have it on.
Oh, we do? Should we look it up?
No, we don't need to look it up. That sounds boring. It goes here.
But is that the right direction, or does it go the other
I
way?
think it is. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. So let's throw the hardware on there. Again, we got this off Miata Mecca.
Our motto in Extreme Daily Drivers is it's just a little broken.
It's just a little broken. That's right. All right, throw those two screws on there. I'll hold it. All right, put the other one in. All right.
One of these, this one has a...
Yeah, it's going to go here.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't need to put that one. My brain's just a little broken.
I know, your brain's just a little broken.
A little bit.
And you could just thread that other one in here so we don't lose it. Done.
Nice.
This thing's basically putting itself together.
I mean, really?
I hope it installs into the car just as easy. All right, guys, underneath the car here, and showing you the rear main seal. So right here's where the flywheel's gonna mount, and before we go ahead and mount the flywheel, there's this seal that goes around the perimeter. Okay, now there's no real No real evidence that it's leaking, but this is when you want to do it, because in order to replace this seal, you have to remove the transmission, clutch, and flywheel. So we don't want to have to do that in the future. We're going to take care of that now as a little preventative maintenance, so that going forward, we know that we won't have an oil leak here. So we got to get this seal out. The seal's seated in here like pretty darn good. So we're going to use a series of kind of little picks. Got these at Harbor Freight a long time ago. I got this one. This is really the go-to guy here. This guy here. You might recognize this from when you went to the dentist. And then we have a screwdriver with electrical tape on it to prevent any kind of damage, because the surrounding part of this seal is aluminum and you can scratch it very easily if you're not careful. So if you're doing this, be careful. All right, making some progress. This actually didn't take as long as I thought it would. Oil's probably gonna pour onto me when I take this off. Oh, it didn't.
Oh, good.
Yep, so there's the old seal. We're gonna clean this area around it and install the new one with the Fly Miata tool.
Yay.
All right, so we got the new rear main seal. It's gonna go on. I think it goes on like this, right? Yeah, it goes on like this. Apparently it's a real jerk about going on.
Like everything else.
Like everything else. Come on, jerk. All right, so we got it on there. Now we're gonna use our Fly Miata tool. And you're wondering, do you have to have this tool? You don't have to have this tool, but the guys in Ep Motorsports recommended it. They said it works like a charm, and when they don't use it, they wind up having a leak. And it's the last thing we want, because we don't have to do all this work again. So the way this thing works is you line it up, the bolts from your flywheel, get it in there, and that goes here. And then you tighten these, and it pulls the seal in perfectly every time. All right, with the use of the tool, we were able to get it on there. I think that's pretty darn good. Comment below if you think this is terrible, and we're gonna have a leak. And then I will delete your comment because I'll be so angry. But no, I think this is good. All right, we are now gonna press in the bearing to the center of our flywheel. And this is one of these tools that's really nice to have, and you don't use it a lot, but it's a super cool thing to have because you get to do stuff like this without smashing it with a hammer, which is how everybody else would be doing it on the internet. Gotta tighten this first. Alright, so we have a socket to press this in place. If you guys want to know what size it is a 1 inch. So as you can see, it's going to press the outer part of that bearing, and that's what we want. You don't want something too small, otherwise you'll wind up damaging the bearing. So we get this going nice and easy. Alright, so it's made contact, everything's lined up, and it's pushing that guy right in there.
It is.
Like butter.
Nice.
What do you think? You think that's good?
Yeah.
That's probably good.
Cool little tool.
And just like that. Check that out. Huh?
Yeah, that's good.
Perfect. Awesome. I may need your help on this.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm gonna lift it up.
And you need somebody to put the bolts in.
Kinda. I could maybe do it myself. Yeah, let's just not chip our teeth or something.
Oh God.
So now we gotta get some liquid thread lock on these guys so they don't fall out.
Okay.
So flywheel's on, just cleaning it as best I can before we install the clutch and pressure plate. We used a thread locker on these bolts, and we used the impact socket gun they aren't coming off. All right, time for the clutch. As we mentioned earlier, this is labeled TM side. All right, so this is the side we want facing the transmission. This guy gets held into place by the pressure plate that's on my chest, and I marked it with uh-oh.
Oh, we got some slippage.
Yep. Clutch is already slipping. I should have Kelly do this part.
No way.
So with the use of a torque wrench, we've got this guy installed very low torque, 14 to 18 foot-pounds, to install the pressure plate. This installs well. Seems happy. So I think we're good. I mean, I don't know. Never done this before. So I think we're straight. We're gonna install a transmission now.
I can see it through that hole.
So just when we thought we were finished and ready to install the transmission, we realized we forgot to install a stupid transmission plate that I was warned about from the guys in Nat Motorsports not to forget, and we forgot it anyway. So we had to take it all apart and put it all back together, but we now have this plate installed. It goes around the transmission behind the flywheel and is 100% necessary. So don't forget to do that if you have a car that came in pieces and you don't know how everything's supposed to go back together, like us. So here's the inside of the transmission, and this is our throwout bearing. And I don't know about you, but this probably needs to be replaced. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It looks pretty old and rusty.
So that just comes off like that.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Junk.
Come on, sucker.
Put some grease on this. All right, so we got our sweet JDM throwout bearing here. This is the real deal one. At least we think it is. We didn't switch it with the other one, right?
I hope not.
And then it slides on like so. Clicks on.
There you go.
That's it. So when you push your clutch in, this is what's happening.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That's it. That's a better demonstration. Yep. That was easy. So we went back and forth as to how to actually install this transmission, and initially I wanted to just pull the engine, do it all outside of the car, then reinstall the engine and transmission all as one, because honestly we really didn't have that much stuff hooked up to the engine. But after talking to guys in Nat Motorsports, after thinking about it for like a month, we finally decided that since we have a transmission jack, we also have other jacks, we should be able to do it relatively easily without removing the engine. So that's why up to this point we haven't removed the engine, just installed the transmission. So here is our transmission jack over here, and the biggest challenge is whether or not we can get this car high enough to slide everything underneath. So we're gonna go ahead, throw this guy on the jack and try to get it underneath the car. Hopefully it's high enough. Maybe we'll have to make a change to the height of the car, but that's what we're going for. So fingers crossed. So the car's not nearly high enough for the transmission jack. It would really have to go up at least another 6 inches, which is a significant increase in height. And Kelly says, why don't we just put it underneath there and install it, because the guy on TV did it and he made it look easy.
The guy on the television did it, and by himself. And we got 2 people, we can do it.
She's talking about the guy on the Car Passion channel.
The guy on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, he did it, but it didn't look easy. So we do have 2 people. Technically, it should be easier. Yeah, all right, we're gonna try it and see what happens. And pray for us. Okay, so essentially, I guess what we should do is I'm gonna lift this up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get under it like a bench press,
Okay.
and then you're gonna have to push it forward.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I just got this brace on my.
Yeah. How are we looking? I know, that's the problem. I need you to pick up the end. The end.
Okay.
All right. I need you to focus on the end of that
Okay.
because it's killing my arm.
Okay.